Welcome everyone to the LEC post-game lobby. I'm Sjokz and I'm joined here by Vedius and by Perkz. Hello, Luca. Awesome to see you.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, it's kind of weird.
Is it?
Being like so far away and seeing you guys there. I can't take it serious, but I will try.
Well, I mean, are you saying you took us seriously otherwise? I think that's a lie too, Luca.
No, I did not. Yeah, you're right.
Hey, first up, congratulations for making it to playoffs. Tell me about, I guess,
Nice.
the relief, right, of making it after what was a difficult split so far.
I mean, yeah, it feels pretty good to be locked now. Makes this whole Super Big thing kind of more exciting to watch because we are like relieved of the pressure and we have to see everyone else sweat for their lives now. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think with Mad winning today, we can't get first seed anymore. So I guess I'm not sure if we can make second still or something. I don't know how that works, but basically I feel like we are like just now in the same spot we're gonna be in, no matter if we win next 2 games or not, or maybe not. So it's kind of chill. Yeah, we don't have much to do right now.
Yeah, I mean, Grabs was saying that you all were thinking it doesn't matter where we end up in playoffs, if we're 6th, if we're 5th, whatever, we're still going to envision winning it. I'm getting the same vibe from you. Is that belief there that no matter if you make it, you're going to win the whole thing?
I do believe so. Yeah, I think we perform better when we are put in an environment which is not changing every single week, and there's a new patch all the time, and we can just have same meta and prepare for it, and for specific opponent we play against in a BO5 setting. So I think this whole split has been like just whatever. A lot of like external factors happened, so we never really had like proper practice up until basically this point. We were week 8, week 7. Like now we had like 10 days of practice in a row, and before it was always like cut. So I think that helped us a lot.
Obviously, you bring it up. It's not been an easy split for many, many reasons. There was something that I found quite interesting, is that, you know, you guys have talked a lot about when you're at the top, it's actually sometimes really hard to improve because you can't really see it because you're winning all the time. Has this been a big learning experience, let's say the last couple of 2-3 weeks, for you guys to know that you just really had to improve and change some things up to make it? And has that in the end kind of stimulated you coming into these playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's been a big step for our team to go over a crisis as a team. Is always interesting to see how each individual and as a group we respond to it. So I think we responded really well, and everyone put in the effort. And every time we do so, we do seem to make it happen. And we do talk about our problems a lot, and we do try to solve them, which is something I'm really grateful for, because we're playing for so long time already that sometimes it can be like hard to, I guess, be with the same group all the time when there is like no progress in specific areas. But we still manage to make it work. So I'm feeling very satisfied with our state. Yeah.
So I wanted, Luca, to ask you about caps, because it seems like even though G2 has struggled a lot this split, I feel like he has still continued to perform at an extremely high level. And in games that arguably you should have lost, he's been able to perform and actually win you games. So I was curious if you could comment on like Caps' split and what you think about him as a player right now.
Well, I think he's been performing really, really well. Like, of course, he's been performing really well, and we appreciate his performance. I think in the beginning we had a bit of a different thought on the meta, like all of us on the team, and that's why all of us looked a bit worse. And that's why right now, when we all know what we want to draft and how we want to play against certain champions, we can perform better. And that's why I also think that's when Caps excels at as well. Yeah, he's really good at carrying games when he knows what our team wants to do. And so even if we all don't perform at our highest level as individuals, we still know what we want to do as a team. And that's when he can perform well on his own. So Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just making a noise. So we're trying to kind of look at why the league is such a mess, but of course it's different for every single team. Now, when we think back to kind of last year's G2 and what has always been a super strength of G2 is kind of, you know, your ability to flex, for instance, in the metas because it was possible or because you made it possible. And I know there's been external circumstances that made it very hard for you guys to practice, but do you think you're going to be able to get back to a point where you're the kind of team that can very quickly decide on these meta changes and bring in the new picks and the new strategies and the different strategies where other teams had not necessarily thought about?
I think it's definitely possible. I think we as a team always try to stay, I guess, ahead of the meta rather than like following the meta. I guess that's also one of the big reasons why we've struggled this split is because we were just following the meta all the time, especially at least in the bot lane. We were just playing what everyone else is playing and not really like knowing myself what is best compared to like last 2 weeks where I feel like when I go into game, I just know what I want to draft and now I want to play around my champions and what my champion is purpose in the game. So that makes it much easier for us. And regarding like flex picks and strategies, that also comes in with more preparation and more playings against specific opponents. It also like really depends on the meta. We can't like just play crazy champions if the like meta doesn't allow it to. I think right now it's actually not too bad to flex champions and play some Veki stuff. So maybe we will see some of that for playoff.
What do you think about?
Yeah.
What do you think about the bot lane meta, Perkz, and how's your transition back from AD to mid lane to AD been?
I think bot lane meta is for sure much more boring than last year. I think there is way less skill involved than it used to be.
Yeah.
I think now it has been a lot about matchups, like just basically better matchup will win the game. I mean the lane. It felt like that the whole split. For example, first Vedius. Now after like 5 nerfs in a row, he's a bit more balanced now, so we don't see him every single game anymore. And you can actually play against him. But he was dominating the bot lane for a long time. And was same with Ezreal. I think now it's a bit more variety. You can play different stuff. Even for example, like Jhin, which I thought was pretty bad before. I don't think he's so bad right now, just because you can do some all-ins, or you can maybe push lane and move. So I think there's different ways to approach bot now. So I'm starting to kind of like it, I guess. I was not really too big of a fan when it was like 2 champs only every game, because it really felt bad to play other champs.
Yep.
And we'll see how it moves forward. I still prefer definitely the last year meta. I think with like Xayah, Kai'Sa, Lucian, Ezreal, you could clearly make more plays on lane and after lane as well. And now you're just kind of a role player. You just hit some waves and put some traps, or yeah, like you're not really. I don't feel like AD carry is not really an AD carry role right now. I think it's more of like an AD support role, no matter what you're playing. If you're playing Senna, you're just using utility, right? If you're playing Ezreal, you're playing long range and just like playing for yourself. If you are playing Caitlyn, I think Caitlyn is really fun. So I like to play Kate, and she's, I think, this like the one that fits me the most right now. Yeah.
I mean, people are loving Kate. She was actually 6-0 today before you beat it. So, like, what's the key to beating her then? Because no other team has done it in EU.
Well, I think you just have to have the better team. I think she's very strong on lane, and that makes her, I guess, noble games. But even if, let's say, today we made some mistakes around bot, like before second Drake, which made the game a bit harder, I think. Like the boys broke their hands a bit, and then we had to give up Drake. So Caitlyn became really strong. I think that's what she excels at, like pushing turrets and getting lane leads. And if she doesn't do that, then she's much weaker. Feels like playing Kate from behind is like much worse than playing, let's say, Xayah or Kai'Sa last year from behind, or even Ezreal, because you just don't have the same impact in the game. But I do feel like teams have not really found the best answers against Kate yet. and I do think I have a bit better grasp on the meta right now than the other bot lanes. So I like that.
Just be a better team. I mean, that works in a lot of situations, I guess. Let's take a look at the standings, because it's Super Week. 2 days left in LEC Summer regular split. And now we have the Mad Lions locked, Rogue, and G2 Esports. But the rest is still a bit out there. Luca, what's going on? What is your take on why everything is so crazy?
I have no idea. I don't really know, but I'm really enjoying it. Like usually, when we go into week 9 of like any regular season, it's just like, okay, let's just like let's play some troll champs. Maybe win, maybe lose games. Doesn't matter. You cannot play us is already locked. Maybe like one team is not sure, but now like literally anyone can make it, which is just completely insane. I think it must be really hyped to be a LEC fan as well, if you're a fan of any of the teams. So because me as a player, like I'm actually just excited to just like go tune in and just watch LEC. Like I don't actually know who's gonna win it. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think it's just like it's been a crazy year, and I feel like playing online definitely makes some teams and players perform better. Abedage. More like FLICKR Dage. Like I don't know what I'm watching when I'm watching Abedage, for example. Like it's just Schalke is just the best team in the world right now. So we'll have to see like how that develops when they play online, offline. Offline.
Yeah. Offline. Well, yeah, offline. Yeah, but so what's your take on? So they're not going to be in the studio yet. So this week, can they make playoffs? Do you believe in the SO4 miracle run?
Schalke? Well, I don't know much about the like stats and whatnot. Like let's say if they lose one game, can they still make it? But looking at them play right now, I feel like they have a really good shot at making it. They're playing out of their mind. Like I don't know why. I'm pretty sure they're like the best team in Europe right now.
Wow.
I don't know like why they are playing so good, but they are just like, I think they're just playing without regrets. So that makes them like, let's see how they do if they are, let's say, one win away from playoff and then they have to make it, or if they make playoffs and then they have to perform in playoff. But as of right now, they just look pretty crazy. So I have no idea, dude. Like I don't know what happened. But
if they make playoffs, do you think Gilius deserves MVP?
Of the split?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah. He's been playing so well. Like, I'm actually pretty happy for him. He's been like really hard smurfing it up, like with any champ and like any style he showed up. So I think he will be a very strong candidate for it. Yeah, definitely.
Well, we'll see what happens. It all depends on your interpretation of MVP, but he would make a strong case for it. And we'll also see, of course, if the regulars, if OG makes it, which is now super unlikely. They're at 3-point-something% of the scenarios. That's a shocker, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't really know what happened with OG, I guess. I don't think they're a bad team. So, like they actually like we practice against them a lot, and I think they're pretty good. So I don't know what is up with them, right? So yeah, it's a shocker. Yeah,
I mean, I don't really know what's wrong with it. I think OG should have won this game today. I think that everything that OG did meant that they were in a position to close things out, and then one mistake, one slip up, and then all of a sudden it all just kind of collapsed. And now they can still qualify. It's just not in their control anymore, which is why every game still matters. And as Perkz was saying, like, you can't just, have a chill game, because literally almost every game until potentially the last day, and even then, like, every single game is super important for every single team.
Yeah. Crazy. Tomorrow is the penultimate day of the regular season. Let's check out what is in store. As said, there's 3 days this week, and tomorrow is the second. Let's see what Schalke is playing. Vitality in the first game of the day. I mean, Grabs was saying, oh, it's really crazy for them to win the next 2 games. But, dude, they've already won 5. They're not going to stop now.
I mean, I think that maybe Perkz can speak on this as well. Like, when you're on a winning streak, it feels like that everything just kind of fits. And so I feel like it's difficult for the winning streak to stop, and it's more on the agency of the other team to somehow stop your momentum rather than for your momentum to dry up. But like, I'm sure Luca has way more experience in this than I do, so maybe he can better comment.
Vedius doesn't win. So.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, it's true what you were saying. Like, even right now, we are on a winning streak, and I don't feel like we can lose right now. I feel like we are better than any other team, besides Schalke, of course, but we already lost against them. So that's not a shame. So I don't know. I think they can for sure lose because the pressure can get to them. But as I right now, like, I don't know why they're so good, so you have to stop asking me about Schalke, actually. Like,
yeah, we need to know. It's a mystery.
It's really confusing.
It's messing us up. It's like, what happened? Like, what's going on? It's
I mean,
crazy.
it just feels like, so in my opinion, as like a lot of pros have been talking about, the meta is just kind of weird, right? In that the game feels a little formulaic, in that a lot of it is revolved around the Drake, but some people seem to thrive on like very specific meta champions, and like Sejuani Camille is a great example of something that Schalke is utilizing a lot that not many other teams are, and it really works for them. And it fits within the meta. It makes sense with how the meta is supposed to be played. And so I think that they just find a lot of success because they can just kind of keep defaulting to a combo that works. And I think that SK is another great example of a team that early on in the split, they found champions that worked and they just kept doubling down on them. And so teams that like found specific champions or picked a style that they really liked and just stuck to it, I think found consistency and have benefited them. And I just think that Schalke have now just suddenly found that thing that kind of clicks together for them, and they're just going to keep running it until someone figures out how to beat it.
Yeah, and we'll see if that happens. Awesome. Thank you for talking to us, Luca. Congratulations on locking playoffs.
Thank you.
Would you mind taking
happy.
a PGL selfie with us?
Sure.
You don't have to do anything.
You just look into the
stay where
camera
you are.
and you smile.
Okay.
Thing fella.
Technology, bro.
This is so weird.
Yeah.
Wait, are you saying you've not watched PGL? Because this is what happens. Are you ready?
No, I haven't. No. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much. That's going to be all from us here in Berlin. Be sure to check out Friday Night League. That's kicking off in the LCS later tonight. We'll be back tomorrow for more action in the LEC. See you then. Bye, Luca. Good night.
Thank you,
See
Luca.
tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.
You have 3 games to decide your fate. If you win, you make playoffs. If you lose, you go home with nothing. Go home with nothing. Go home with nothing.
First, there's only 2,000 HP on that though, you've got to fight it right now. He goes in, he's stolen it! Vitality, that could be something that secures your spot in playoffs. Just disengage this, it's down to 2,000. Kadro, you got to get in there, it's secured! Kadro gets it, he smites it away! Killing spree from Patrick, Troy stepping forward, now Fabi's going to go down as well, shut down! And this is it! Origen, you had your moments, you had your chances, but Excel slapped the win right out of their hands!
Julius, King of LEC, ascend to godhood and grant me this win!
Very good.
Or does he? It's Hylissang again!
Hylissang thinks he does, but it's a trade of 1-for-1. Glacial Prison's available for Gilius, and he's not even gonna need it!
Yes! Yes! I am God! Fear me!
Febiven is caught out once again. Please don't leave me, Ender. I can't do this alone. Kazi kills Febiven. The Rift walk forward. Humanoid's got one. Not gonna master for the counter-strike. That's a double kill.
First in the intro. It's fine. Guys, like, I've done this before a few times.
Here into the death sentence, into decimating smash, but now there's nothing for any of the other three. Gigantic damage onto limit. Gen X takes the blast cone, and that's Crown Shot already down. He's blown up by Wonder.
He can quadra kill! He can quadra kill! No Wonder! That's so toxic! Crown Shot could have killed them all!